I moved to California in my 20s and I fell in love with it. So a lot of my poetry is about California, and then some of it is about the Midwest where I grew up. So I'm gonna start with 3 of my California poems. May gray, June gloom. June is a beach that smells of red tide, is water listlessly lapping at the sand, is a squadron of seagulls the color of fog, a marine lair. It will burn off by noon is our cliche, our hope for the sun, usually a given as our bougainvillea and jacaranda. We are aging white-bearded surfers in Hawaiian shirts printed with red hibiscus and the smell of fire rings. The sun, a barely noticed pink disk dipping into the Pacific. Then July with its white-hot sun, everything burned into a high relief, and fat lizards that scattered around my front door. It is hard to mark the passage of seasons for a transplant from elsewhere. Where are the snowsuits that reek of cedar and mothballs, rubber galoshes, mittens, earmuffs? Here's how perfect summer arrives. The mockingbird returns to sit atop the same telephone pole every year. He sings me awake and asleep, while the monkey's paw in my garden sends up its spindly mustard flowers to reach for the sun. Zaca Lake, Santa Barbara. At dusk, bats fly, crossing paths, then fold like origami and cling to eaves. A carp breaks the water's surface. The sound of crickets his chorus. A great horned owl glides above an old man who fills mason jars with what he calls sacred mud of the healing lake. In the lobby of faded sun, I pass row after row of pinned butterflies under glass. Anise swallowtail, mournful dusky wing, cabbage white. Memento mori of this old hotel, long gone guests, days of green, and summer's sulfurous heat bursting cocoons. Fragile speckled wings that someone felt the need to pin down. You're awake as a child until they teach you the names of things. Visit to a California monastery. The wild artichokes are dry, with whiskers and faces bent like ancient ancestors of sunflowers. Olive trees, flower-tipped cacti, rusty barbed wire fence. I hear the birds as clearly as I once did in the Ozarks. The monk is old, with blue eyes unseemingly young. No clouds today, just open sky, oak savannas, and silence broken by the thunder of an F-18 training jet from Miramar. If I sit long enough, I think the ache will leave my bones. My shoulder will unlock, my jaw unclench. There's the dull tap of a woodpecker working one of the sycamores, the wild rude call of a jay. A row of million-dollar houses sit atop a ridgeline, visible behind a solitary century plant, its flowers turned to brown. The sun rolls in waves on my back, and the day is full of space. I think how that monk's eyes are young, but this canyon is old, once owned by coyotes, hawks, mountain lions, unseen rattlesnakes, recluses among the rocks and sage on this brilliant day. And then here's my Midwest poem. Two-tone Ford Victoria. My father had a knack, a special gift for buying cars that immediately became obsolete. The shiny green Hudson Hornet, the Henry J, the black Packard that looked like a mob car, the Mercury, big heavy thing with windows like gun turrets, a tank, an upside down bathtub. He loved his cars, and when he was young, he jazzed them up with special mud flaps. The last one I remember was the red Cadillac, a 59 with jutting tail fins that resembled weapons mounted on the rear. He always bought what he called Detroit Iron. Wasn't thrilled with my first car, British MG 1600. Would have preferred for me to buy the two-tone green and white Ford Victoria with chrome strips running down the side. He loved his cars as much as he loved Johnny Cash and Hank Williams. I thought that music maudlin. But years later, when country music came into vogue, I surprised myself when I knew all the lyrics to Orange Blossom Special and Ring of Fire. Thank you.